Hey everyone, it's Saturday, believe it or not, and I have some time, and I'm going through some random videos here. I'm just pulling stuff up, and also just kind of noodling on my guitar. What song? Probably going to do a little video on modes and explain like the function of a lot of these sounds that you hear in music and why they get your attention. Anyway, let's see what we're doing here. The Warning. I found a cover of You Oughta Know. Man, that is a killer song. So Alanis Morissette, just the it's just a badass song. It's just so freaking good. So I'm really curious to see how The Warning do You Oughta Know. Let's take a listen.
I want you to know that I'm happy for you. I wish nothing but the best for you both. Another version of me, does she prefer to like me? Will she make out with you in a theater? Does she speak eloquently? And would she have your baby? I'm sure she'd make a really excellent mother. If the love that you gave that we made wasn't able to make it enough for you to be open wide. No! And every time you speak her name, does she know how you told me you hold me up till you die? Till you die, but you're still alive. And I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. It's not fair to deny me all the cross I bear that you gave me. You ought to know. You seem very well. Things look peaceful. I'm not quite as well. I thought you should know. Did you forget about me, Mr. Duplicity? I hate to bug you in the middle of dinner. It was a slap in the face, how quickly I was replaced. And are you thinking of me when you touch her? 'Cause the love that you gave that we made wasn't able to make it enough for you to be open wide. No! And every time you speak her name, does she know how you told me you hold me until you die? Till you die, but you're still alive. And I'm here to remind you of the mess you left when you went away. It's not fair to deny me all the cross I bear that you gave to me. You ought to know. The jokes that you laid in the bed that was me, and I'm not gonna fade as soon as you close your eyes. And you know it. And every time I scratch my nails on someone else's back,
I love it.
hope you feel it. Well, can you feel it? Then I'm
Oh yeah. Oh man, I got a tear in my eye from joy. Damn, that was so good. So you take one of my favorite songs ever, and you put this band. I've never heard a better cover of this song, and I'll tell you what. This actually, to me, in my mind, equals the original version. It's just as powerful, just as good. Oh, what a great version of this song. So cool. Uh, I'm at a loss for words. It's just so good. So good. So a great song. She changed a couple, she changed that one line, I think, and made it a little cleaner. And rightly so. I mean, it's a different time now. When I was growing up, it was we kind of policed ourselves as far as bad language and pornography and things like that. So it was there all the time, but there was a line as a well-mannered person that you wouldn't cross. So when you watch TV, there was a lot of double entendre. We knew what was going on, but if you were a child watching the TV show, it would be over your head. You wouldn't understand the reference. And you'd open your newspaper, and in the back pages were the porno theaters and advertisements for massage parlors or whatever. Or, it was there, and it was out in the open. And now there's a strange, that whole political correctness scene is the weirdest thing. So that people will cancel you for saying one wrong word, yet your kid can have a cell phone and have access to the most despicable pornography out there. So this is a weird time. Anyway, I love the version of this song, but I guess she had to clean it up a little bit for herself, because they do have kind of a wholesome image, which is fine. I probably would have been a little weirded out if it wasn't that way. So that being said, great. And in the beginning of the song, I think I talked a little bit about modes, and talking about the fact I'm going to put a video together and explain modes. The beginning of the song is Dorian mode. That sound is indicative of Dorian mode. Whenever you hear, or you're in this Dorian mode. So it's interesting. It's interesting to know what that sound is and how it works. So I'll be putting a little video together for that. Anyway, back on track. The Warning. You Oughta Know. 10 out of 10. Just 2 thumbs up. Excellent. Everything about it was great. I love how, and another thing I love about this band is how they can incorporate technology, like having a backing track, not necessarily a backing track, but a track that has some enhancements like keyboard parts and things like that. And they do it so well that it's a hard thing to do. If you play in a band and you try to play to a click track, 2 things come to mind that can go wrong. Number 1 is you get a little out of sync with the track because you can't hear it all that well. And number 2, even if you're in sync with the track, it loses the feel. It loses that human feel because you're trying so hard to lock in to a tempo that's not matching your emotional feeling at that point, because a band will naturally speed up and slow down during certain sections. I know back like in the 90s, I played in a 3-piece band, and I had played guitar, and I had a keyboard with me, and that keyboard had just some short little phrases that I could trigger that were little keyboard parts or something, because it was impossible to get the whole band to sync from beginning to end because the tempo varies. But if you have just little phrases that you can play and just keep hitting play at the start of each beat, even if it goes out of sync a little bit, you don't even notice it because it's so short. And then you hit start again at the beginning of the next bar, and it seems to work just fine. But that was back in the '90s when actually when You Oughta Know had just come out. We were doing that, and we were doing a bunch of other songs, and we just used those keyboard parts in there, and it was pretty cool. So I give them a lot of credit for being able to do that, because that's really hard to do, and they do it really well. And I give them as much credit for being able to do that as I do for how well they play their instruments. I mean, it's a big deal to be able to do that, because I've seen plenty of other bands that play the tracks, and it's horrible. It's horrible. It's cheating. It's no good. But this band brings it to a level of sophistication that you have to just say, wow, they know what they're doing, and it's, in their case, it's, if you can do it on that level, that's fantastic. That's really, really cool. So that's another thing that I love about this band, and I think that's really, really cool. So The Warning, You Oughta Know. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, guys. Thanks. See you in a bit.